saying, guys, I got cut off. This deodorant right here, you might be able to get it off of Amazon. I'm going to see if I can find it on Amazon and leave a link in the description box for you guys. Because I don't think you can see it. Let's see. It's not zooming in. Sorry. Anyway, it's called 24-Hour Crystal. And it's unscented, so it doesn't mask the humness that some of us experience more than others. Some people can just put on a little deodorant, keep it moving, and be able to use these natural, aluminum-free, paraben-free, hypoallergenic, and all that. But some of us require toxins, so we don't offend other people and not just ourselves. So I was like, well, I'm just gonna wear this at night, see how I like it, on really cold days when I know I'm not gonna be sweating. But today I ended up going into a couple establishments and it was very warm, like very warm. And I'm like, do you guys have the heat on like 90 degrees or something? Because I am burning up. And so I started to sweat. So I was like, I'm gonna see if this deodorant really works when you're under pressure or you're in a very warm area. So anyway, what you do is, let's see if I can, I'm working with one hand. So this is what it looks like. And what you do is you actually wet it. They suggest that you wet the tip of it and then put it under your arms. But I find that if I just splash some water under my arms and then use this, it applies a lot better. And it almost applies like those roll-on deodorants, which never worked for me. Because once it evaporated, that was it. So it kind of has that feel. Like once you put it on, after about a minute or so, it kind of feels like a typical roll-on deodorant. So yeah, you definitely have to use water for it to work. You can't just put it on your arms. Because initially, me not reading the instructions, thought, well, let me just roll it, put it up under my arms, and nothing happened. So I was like, did I get a bad stick of deodorant? Because it's mighty dry, right? It's very dry, right? No, you have to add water to it. And so that is the directions on the container. So anyway, I'm going to see if I can find it on Amazon. And if you guys are interested, you can click on the link and it would take you to the item. But yeah, this stuff right here, I think I'm going to do another review when it gets really hot outside and stank, or if I'm working out and I'm doing Taco or whatever, and to see if it kicks in. But thus far, I am impressed. I am very impressed by this little stick of mineral deodorant. Mineral. So anyway, I just wanted to talk about that before I forget. So anyway, I had a dream the night of 11/11, all right? And when I woke up, what I remembered, it wasn't a horrible dream, but there was a part of the dream that was a bit disturbing. And the part that was a bit disturbing was everyone that was involved in this particular dream, I don't know who they were. And apparently some young black guy, maybe even a teenager, he got shot in the throat. And I remember he grabbed his throat and was like that. And a few people ran up to him because he didn't like fall over and die. He just grabbed his throat. And then other things happened in the dream, and then I moved on with the story in my dream and woke up, and then I'm like, hours later, I'm thinking, what was that all about? Because it wasn't directed towards me. None of the people in that scene, in that particular dream, meant anything to me. They were all strangers. It was like I was a bystander watching it. So anyway, the other night, I think either last night or, yeah, it was last night, I decided to look in my dream Bible just to get an idea what that was all about. And this dream Bible is very general, so it doesn't tell me specifically what everything means, but being that the main thing about that particular scene in the dream was about the throat, I went ahead and I looked up what throat meant in the dream Bible. Okay, so let me go to that page. Hold on. Let's see. All right. So it says the throat is linked to vocal cords and the ability to speak. It also connects the body to the head, linking feeling with thoughts. Sometimes when we have trouble expressing our emotions, we feel a constriction in our throat. If you dream of problems in the throat area, it may reflect difficulty in saying what you feel. In this dream, you can see intense anxiety. And then they just went through an example of a dream that really didn't resonate with what I dreamt and what I felt, so I didn't really take that serious. As with many dreams of the body, you can learn a lot by looking at the different elements of the content and relating it to events in your life at the time of the dream. So again, it says, it also connects the body to the head, linking feeling and thoughts. If you dream of problems in the throat area, it may reflect difficulty saying what you feel. Saying what you feel. Difficulty saying what you feel. Now that resonated with me. Yeah, that definitely resonated with me. Oh, someone already commented. I guess it was one of my videos that I posted. Somebody already commented. Shalom, sister. Let me see. Hold on. I'm sitting here juggling. Oh, okay. So, Israel. You'll probably see this video soon. So, hold on. You said, shalom, sister. This was 2 minutes ago. And so right now the time is 7:06 p.m. on November the 13th. So shalom to you, Israel family. Thanks for commenting on the Happy 11/11 video. So anyway. So then I decided to look in this book. And I've talked about this book before. I had just bought it a few weeks ago, but then I decided to kind of go within this book and try to look around. You know, I haven't read it because it's more of a reference book, but you know how things jump out at you and then you're like, oh, that's what that meant, right? Well, I was looking at tarot. There's a section in this book about the tarot, right? You know what the major major arcana cards in symbolism or whatever like that. So I was looking at, let me see, which one was I looking at? It was something that I was looking at that caught my attention. Had something to do with Mercury, the magician. The astrology key is Mercury. We are still in Mercury retrograde, guys. That doesn't end until November the 20th. And this has been a difficult Mercury retrograde for a lot of us, including myself. Okay. The key word for the magician is manifestation. So yeah, I was kind of looking through that. So that caught my attention. And something else caught my attention. It was, let's see. It was, it has something to do with the chakras. So of course, the throat chakra, the color is blue, and let me see if I can find that. So let's see, chakra 39. Okay, and then it was, I'm looking at an index right now. Let's see, 166. 166. Okay, here we go. Then I came across the chakras, right? You probably can't really see it that well as far as the symbolism or whatever, but I looked at throat chakra. It says the element is ether. The petals is 16. The planet is Jupiter. Deity is Panchavatra Shiva. So that's Hindi, I think, which is Lord of Oneness. And this deity has 5 heads, and it's like 5 personalities or 5 characteristics of this one deity, and relates to truth. So I was like, Lord of Oneness relates to truth. Then the planet Jupiter. And I've been hearing quite a bit about the planet Jupiter. And when I saw that, and then I went back over here to the tarot cards. Jupiter, when it's linked to a major arcana card, it is, let's see, Jupiter, Wheel of Fortune. So the astrology key is Jupiter, and the keyword is beginning. So beginning, throat chakra relates to truth. In the beginning, truth. So again, this dream was 11:11 that night, pertaining to truth. And as far as the chakras, truth, planet Jupiter. As far as the tarot, the Wheel of Fortune, Keyword is beginning. Now, I'm going to read to you guys a little bit of what I wrote. I was scripting in my journal that I introduced you guys to a while back. But on 11/11, I wrote, let's see, I wrote, it's getting old real quick, y'all, holding this phone with one hand. All right, 11/11. Ooh, I'm not going to read everything, but I was writing the numbers 888, like 3 8s, 888, 888, 888. And then I wrote, this is what I wrote on the last page right here. What you see is already done, my scribble. But I wrote, I am balance, I am investor, I am landlord, I am empowerment, I am power. Already done, already done, already done. And so, you see those diamonds there that I drew? I wouldn't say I'm Bob Ross. But I found that in this book here, right? And what I'm trying to express to you guys is that I honestly believe that each school of thought, walk of life, belief, things of that nature, we can learn a piece of everything out there to put together for us to accomplish what's for our highest good and everybody else around us too eventually, right? But I truly believe that. That's why I'm going back and forth, like looking at different thoughts and things of that nature. Theology in some cases. Mythology, natural, what do they call it? Natural world, signs, symbols, mystic world. You know, it's like I'm very intrigued. So I'm trying to connect the dots for me, you know, my blueprint. So anyway, so I'm flipping through, and again, this book that I'm referring to, there's so much in this book that I'm kind of gazing over probably 70% of it because it doesn't resonate. It doesn't catch my attention. It may one day, at the moment it doesn't. But what does catch my attention, you know, based on life experiences as of, or thus far, I recognize some symbols. I recognize some thought patterns, and it's connecting for me, right? So anyway, back to those diamonds. Again, I wrote this in my journal on 11/11 before that dream. And again, the dream was some young black, I would assume he was black. He may have been something other than just black. But I saw a black young man, maybe a teenager, and he was shot in the throat. And he didn't die in my dream, but he just was holding his neck. And I was like a bystander looking. It was like he couldn't express himself. And then I'm also trying to put, you know, some of the symbolism in this book together to try to figure out, okay, throat, feelings, expressing yourself. Then again, I was looking at tarot, the major archons, the Wheel of Fortune, as far as the planet Jupiter. Let me see. And just to read a little bit of the Wheel of Fortune. It says, this card represents a turning point, the changing cycles in our lives, and how we are both influenced by apparent fate and our own free will. There will be choices to be made, new journeys to begin. Remember, beginnings. And the chance to jump on the bandwagon. It also indicates that luck can be both good and bad, depending on our perspective. So you got to really focus on that mind. And when people may rub you the wrong way or push your buttons, it's just best to keep your distance as much as possible, because whatever's going on up here and here will eventually manifest into something that you didn't necessarily want it to happen. So that's what Wheel of Fortune for the most part means. Now back to those, I keep going back to the diamonds, right? Now the diamond shape symbol is linked to, I believe, let me see, let me make sure I'm thinking of this correctly. I don't think it was linked to Kabbalah. Let's see. It has something to do with mysticism. So let me find it and pause this real quick. Okay, so I found it, and it's under the geomantic category. A geomantic instrument used to divine oracles. This is like, I guess, based in Syria. See those symbols? Right? Well, the one that I drew in my journal, I drew two of them actually. It was, let's see, financial luck. Yeah, financial luck. Acquisisto. And the other one that I drew, which is down there at the bottom. And down there at the bottom there, the one I drew there, that one is make sure I'm looking at the right one. Protection. CARCER. CARCER. That's for protection. So protection and fortune. Financial luck. Okay. So it's this late 15th century magician and astrologer Cornelius Agrippa devised magical symbols as a way to harness the powers of the planets. So that's what I did, just to see, right? Traditionally, geomancy is drawn in the surface of sand using the hands or a stick, but it can be done equally well with a wax tablet and stylus or a pen and paper. I did a pen and paper. Ritualized objects may or may not be desired for use in divination. Modern methods of geomancy include computerized random number generators, random numbers, numerology, 1111, 222, 333. You know how we see numbers like that all the time? It catches our attention, like, why do I keep seeing those numbers? You know, a lot of people, including myself, increasingly have been seeing these numbers daily. Okay, I've mentioned before that I began seeing 1111 and 111 every single day since September of 2012. 2012 was a big year too, as far as the Mayan calendar or whatever. Um, so yeah, it's been how many years? 7 years? Yeah, it's been 7 years, guys, since I've been seeing 1111 and 111. And not just those numbers. I mean, I've been seeing 444 a lot lately. I've been seeing 333. Occasionally I'll see 666, 777, 999. You know what? The next day, which was full moon, November the 12th, the first set of numbers I saw driving into work, you know, as far as commuting, someone's license plate had 888 on it. And 888, or the number 8, is a number of abundance, finances, or whatever. So, yeah, I'm starting to see 888 quite a bit as well. But yeah. Oh, and 000, I've seen them a few times. And 000 or 0000 apparently means that God, creator, or however way you want to describe source, is pleased or hears you. You know, whatever request or whatever you're doing, it's like a confirmation, like, I see you, I hear you, you know. Then it says, modern methods of geomancy include computerized random number generators, counting bricks on a wall, throwing unknown amounts of stones on a flat surface. Okay. Counting the eyes on potatoes, drawing a number of beans from a sack, and a wide range of creative numbering devices. That kind of reminds me of throwing bones. I'm not familiar with that, but I know some people use that as tools to predict things. And it depends on whoever is receiving the message, if they receive it and believe it or not. If they believe it, then they will probably create that in their life. If they don't believe it, they're like, oh, okay, thanks. It's not gonna affect me because I don't believe it. So anyway, I drew those two symbols, magical symbols, on 1111. And then I did not know that a unicorn, as well as a phoenix, which is like a bird or whatever, those are two images of resurrection within a Christian mindset or belief. And I was thinking, resurrection, like, for me, as someone who was brought up in a Christian environment, as far as, you know, Jesus is the Messiah, and, you know, the only time you look at the Old Testament is when you talk about the 10 Commandments and or tithing. Other than that, everything else didn't matter in the Old Testament. New Testament, all about that. That kind of Christianity, okay? I don't remember hearing nothing about no unicorns or a phoenix as far as a resurrection. Like, that's new to me, and I came across that in this symbols book about unicorns and the phoenix. Now, when I think of phoenix, I think of a dragon. I don't necessarily think of resurrection, but apparently it is a symbol of resurrection. And if you saw the movie, Disney's movie, Maleficent, Mistress of Evil, and I've talked about this before. I gave a quick review a few weeks ago. Disclaimer, I'm going to reveal some stuff real quick. She was the descendant of the phoenix or something like that. You know how sometimes, well, I say, I am my ancestors. My ancestors are me. Well, her ancestor was a phoenix, or the phoenix. And she ended up being a phoenix because she was her ancestor. Does that make sense? It kind of makes sense to me. And the whole unicorn thing, I always thought unicorns were just in fairy tales, Oh, cute, the unicorn. Usually associated with a little girl who's a princess or whatever. She wants unicorns on her wall, or she wants a unicorn, outfit or something. When I think of unicorns now, I do associate unicorns linked with rainbows. And as growing up, as far as the rainbow was a symbol of the promise that God would not destroy the world with water ever again. There's other elements, right? Not just water, but water would not be an element that would destroy mankind or the earth or whatever. And now, when I think of the unicorn associated with the rainbow, the promise, and the resurrection, it kind of makes sense. What's interesting is that I got my cards read over the summer. It was me and actually my best friend. We went to this crystal shop and we got talked into getting our cards read. Pretty cheap, whatever. And this woman was right on the money. And she pulled out